For over a century, global power has been shaped by a single resource: oil. It built nations. It toppled governments. It created billionaires. And it created wars. And among all oil-rich nations, one country stood taller than everyone else: a kingdom carved from the desert. A land where wealth rose from beneath the sand: Saudi Arabia. But today, something extraordinary is happening. The world is shifting away from oil. Electric cars are rising. Solar and wind energy are becoming cheaper than ever before. Climate rules are growing tighter. And Saudi Arabia, a country once completely dependent on oil, is preparing for a world where oil may someday lose its value. This is the story of how Saudi Arabia is reinventing itself and building a future where oil is no longer the heart of its economy. This is the story of Vision 2030, the birth of an oil empire. Before oil, Saudi Arabia was a simple desert kingdom with limited economic power. Life was tough, cities were small, and resources were scarce. Everything changed in 1938, when the first major oil well was discovered in Dhahran. It was a moment that rewrote history. Saudi Arabia quickly became the world's largest exporter of oil and one of the most influential forces in global politics. Oil transformed everything. The government became wealthy. Citizens received free healthcare, free education, and free social services. Taxes remained minimal. The country modernized at lightning speed. Saudi Arabia became the leader of OPEC. For decades, life in Saudi Arabia revolved around one thing: oil. But then, the world changed. Electric vehicles started replacing traditional fuel cars. Renewable energy became cheaper. Countries set targets to reduce fossil fuel use. Technology started reshaping global industries. Oil was still important, but its future was no longer guaranteed. And that's when the Saudi leadership asked a life-changing question. What will happen to Saudi Arabia the day the world stops depending on oil? This question became the foundation of a new vision, a new Saudi Arabia, the new Saudi dream. In 2016, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman introduced Vision 2030, a bold, revolutionary plan to reshape Saudi Arabia's economy, society, and global identity. Its goal was not just to survive a future without oil, but to lead the future. Vision 2030 focuses on three big transformations. 1. A diversified economy. Saudi Arabia wants multiple income sources: tourism, entertainment, sports, technology, mining, manufacturing, renewable energy, and global investments. 2. A modern nation. A country with smart cities, high-speed trains, sustainable energy, and digital innovation. 3. A skilled and empowered population. Saudi's youth, more than 70% under the age of 35, are being prepared for jobs in AI, robotics, engineering, and global business. Vision 2030 is not just a plan. It is a promise to build a nation that stands strong, even when oil doesn't. The 500 billion city of the future. Perhaps the most ambitious part of Vision 2030 is NEOM, a megacity being built from scratch in northwestern Saudi Arabia. NEOM is not just a city, it is a vision of the future. Among its projects, the most famous is The Line. Imagine a city with no cars, no pollution, no roads, zero carbon emissions, fully powered by renewable energy, AI-controlled transport and services, high-speed trains traveling from one end to another in minutes. The Line is a 170-kilometer-long linear city where everything, homes, offices, shops, parks, is stacked vertically. It looks like something from a sci-fi movie. Glass walls reflect the desert. Green corridors run through the center. And the entire city runs on solar and wind power. Many critics said it was impossible. But Saudi Arabia replied, "We are not building for today. We are building for the next 100 years. NEOM also includes Trojana, a futuristic ski resort in the desert; Oxagon, the world's largest floating industrial city; Sindala, a luxury island for global tourism. These projects are not about spending money. They are about building long-term economic engines. The tourism revolution. For most of its history, Saudi Arabia was not open to global tourism. Only pilgrims visiting Makkah and Medina came in large numbers. But Vision 2030 changed everything. Saudi Arabia opened its doors to the world. It created easier visas, international events, tourism campaigns, and massive entertainment zones. Saudi aims to attract 100 million tourists every year. a number that would make it one of the most visited places on Earth. Major tourism megaprojects include the Red Sea Project, hundreds of pristine islands, coral reefs, luxury resorts. Zero-carbon tourism. This area is expected to become one of the most expensive and exclusive tourist destinations in the world. Al-Ula, a wonder of ancient civilization. Massive stone tombs, desert canyons, and a 5,000-year-old history. Saudi is turning it into the world's largest open-air museum. Riyadh Expo 2030, a global event expected to bring millions of visitors, boosting Saudi Arabia's global identity as a modern powerhouse. Tourism is expected to become one of the strongest pillars of the Saudi economy, without needing oil. The kingdom's new weapon. Saudi Arabia is using sports as a form of soft power. The country is attracting some of the biggest names in the world. Cristiano Ronaldo, Neymar, Benzema, Modric, Mane. And it's not just football. Saudi is hosting Formula One races, UFC events, heavyweight boxing fights, WWE shows, global golf tournaments, Live Golf. The strategy is simple. Sports, influence, plus tourism, plus investment. Global reputation. Saudi Arabia is not trying to win games. Saudi Arabia is trying to win the world's attention. Behind every major Saudi project stands one giant engine. The Public Investment Fund, PIF. This is one of the richest sovereign wealth funds in the world. With assets over $1 trillion, PIF invests globally in Uber, Facebook, Disney, Boeing, Lucid Motors, Nintendo, renewable energy companies, gaming companies, real estate across the world. PIF is turning Saudi Arabia into an investment superpower. The long-term dream? A future where Saudi Arabia's national budget is funded not by oil, but by investment profits. In other words, oil built the kingdom, but investments will sustain it. The new Saudi workforce. Saudi Arabia is transforming not just its buildings, but its people. Major changes include women joining the workforce in record numbers, universities teaching AI, robotics, programming, cybersecurity, digital payments dominating everyday life, startups receiving billions in funding, Saudization programs training locals for high-tech jobs, new global companies opening headquarters in Riyadh. Saudi Arabia is building a generation that doesn't rely on government jobs, but competes in the global economy. The real wealth of the future is not oil, it is people. Can Saudi stay rich without oil? The biggest question is, can Saudi Arabia stay rich even if oil becomes worthless? The answer is yes, and possibly even richer. Saudi Arabia is building 5 major economic pillars. 1. Tourism. 2. Entertainment and sports. 3. Megacities and real estate. 4. Global investments via PIF. 5. Renewable energy and high-tech industries. Even if oil drops to zero, Saudi Arabia will still have trillion-dollar investment assets, a booming tourism sector, the future-ready cities, growing technology industries, massive sports influence. Saudi Arabia is not just preparing for the future, it is creating it. Outro. History books will one day say, Saudi Arabia was the nation built by oil, and the nation that rose even higher without it. Oil was the beginning. Innovation is the future, and Vision 2030 is the bridge that connects both worlds. Saudi Arabia is proving one powerful truth. The future belongs to nations that dare to reinvent themselves.